Yeah, I'm Kyle. Also part of the team. I deal with most of the card things. So when Shree wants to build a Splinter deck, it's in my hand. Like it's actively just right here. But no, it's really funny. We like Shree got in this game, and he just loves playing like games. So we thought we'd give this one a try, and then Phil Birch, who pretty well known in this scene, is somebody I played cards with like 10 years ago. And he shows up at the store, and him and I do like the look at each other like, oh, okay, all right. So like I remember him talking about this game a long time ago. So we finally gave it like a big try. And just like it's fun, it's unique. It's a bit more difficult than the baseline for a lot of other games, but I like the challenge at like learning from people who are better than me. And we got really lucky that in our room there are just like people on cardboard that we could like learn from and just get better quickly. And yeah, so we've just been like wanting to go to the regionals, want to go to worlds, all the stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, Worlds is an experience in its own right, but like you're saying, you've got people on cardboard there. I know you mentioned Phil Birch, but you've also got Mitchell Semino, who is an outright amazing player in his own in his own way. And we keep seeing like the trading post tag coming up on a lot of players that are getting high end finishes, and you've inadvertently recruited some of response on play with how their like living situations changing. It seems like you guys are really up and coming in Universes as well as well established in some other games as well.
the trading post definitely was a name that we kind of settled on was really about the place you want to end up with your friends. The at the end of the night, let's all congregate, let's all be in the same room and have a good night and enjoy each other's company and things like that. Um, we obviously have an underlying like we have competitive players. We want to do well at events, but we want to separate a lot of that like hyper competitiveness with like you can be a great player and a great person to your opponents, to your friends, to your communities. And we just really want to like practice what we preach, kind of share that with everybody that's in the communities that we love.
So it's a case of you can be competitive, you can be casual, but you still have a place within card games. And the trading post is a place where you can go and be casual, competitive. You can learn all different card games. Like you saying, it's kind of a place where if someone has a day off work or has some free time, like I want to go play games, their first thought will be, I'm going to go to trading post because it's got a great atmosphere.
I'm gonna date myself here, Brett, but I envision it to like the bar in Cheers where everyone knows your name. You know, like that's the place that we want to be, right? Like we want people to come because they enjoy the experience and they stay because of all of the other things that every one of us bring to the table, not just us as the trading post, but all of the individuals and their unique skill sets and experiences and perspectives. So but I think the commonality amongst all the team members, including some of our, like really accomplished ones, is their generosity with their time. Our team captain's Phil Birch. He's a teddy bear. If people don't know Phil, he's like the most gentle, kind, like time giving person that you would ever meet. You would never think that when you see him at the bar, but like he's that type of person, and almost all the team members are like that. They're willing to give you the time to help you learn and impart their wisdom and insights, and it's awesome.
From the plays that you've got with Nate Dwall, Mitchell Semino, Phil Birch, they're all very passionate about card games, not just Universes. I know Mitchell's still very passionate about Yu-Gi-Oh! On top of everything else. And when you're passionate about things, especially things you love, like the card games, it comes across as like that in your community makes you want to share it more. It makes it a lot easier for people to socialize with you because that passion comes across when you're talking about it. If you're not passionate or just going for the motions, it can kind of put people off. And it sounds like with Phil, with Nate, with Mitchell, you've got this great core team of people that are not only great players and great people, but they're great at conveying how passionate and friendly the trading post and Universe's community can be, and that can translate into getting more players onboarded.
$100%.
Absolutely. And we didn't start out, it was very organic how all of this formulated, right? Like the idea of the trading post didn't originate necessarily with this on the onset. It was just a bunch of people hanging out and playing card games, right? And so we barely even knew each other in our first tournament across the team, right? And so it's been organic over time, and we've added like-minded people over time that share kind of our purpose and our goals.
Yeah, and you mentioned in previous in the previous version, this where we audio didn't record, that your first event was Louisville, and you guys as a team didn't have the best of time, but you had a very bonding time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing forges like struggling together. No, Louisville was super interesting. I was sick. We had a friend with a medical emergency, and just like anything that could go wrong decided to go wrong that week. But somehow through it all, we decided like let's do more of them. And if we can make it through that, like I can't imagine us not making it through anything together. So it was definitely a bonding experience.
I will say, Brett, if you're going to do some investigations later on, um, I had a friend who had a medical emergency and dropped 2 rounds. I had another one who didn't even show up because he was sick in bed on the camera right now. We had someone who O2 dropped with beers, and I somehow ended up at 177th out of 177 people. I have no idea how that took place, but
They didn't drop him for 3 more rounds, so he was the only one that was 0-5, where everybody else was 0-2, so he got actual last place at the event.
even though I left to take our friend to the hospital, right? So like all of us had been dropped, right? It was a luckily everyone was okay.
Mhm.
Staff was great. Our friend is okay. It was just anything that could go wrong for our first tournament ever did go wrong. But the cool thing that came out of it, because we were just so hysterical at how poorly everything had gone. We had a name of Chill Boys Together was our team name. Just offhand topic, just because it was just two or three guys that were showing up to this tournament flaming out, and we put a piece of paper with CeeLo tape with Chill Boys Together on Mitchell Chimino's jersey, and to his credit, he kept that on the entire tournament.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it was just crazy, and that's how we decided in that moment we wanted to become a team. Was after all of that. So
There is definitely a better team mentality across the pond. Over here, we only really have the Dobbers, and that is just like that is just a group of friends who kind of play together and travel together, similar to what you guys are doing here. But we don't have this kind of team mentality to the same degree. Whereas, like over there, you've got Let's Talk UVS, MGLA, Final Round, Training Post. You've got a lot of these teams, and you take a lot of pride in your colors and your names and the team as well. And as a non-American, it's quite strange to see, but also kind of endearing that you guys enjoy each other's company, enjoy playing with each other so much that you're like, we're going to create a bond from it. Although you're saying it was a rough experience at Louisville, if you're at the bottom, you've only got one direction to go.
that's
I
true.
mean, we kinda
That's
hit it in Atlanta, so
Yeah, and so yeah, we decided after that tournament, hey, even though none of us played more than 2 rounds, except for Mitchell, and Mitchell wasn't even on our team officially at the time. We like this game. We like playing with each other, and like maybe we want to take it a little bit more seriously and get a team together, right? And so we all decided we wanted to do it again and go to Toronto. And so locally, Phil Birch played at a store that runs Universus, and so we had met him there. Mitchell, we met through that store as well. There are a few more players in our community that are phenomenal players. Tanner, who's out of Michigan, was in top cuts at Louisville with Mikasa. We have Keith, who has cardboard. Keith Disbro in our community as well. Even you know J Ray came out to support our locals and play when we were trying to get it off the ground at another store, right? And so the community support in Michigan has been awesome, and so we just wanted to lean into it and tap into that, and that's how we started the team. And we
Mhm.
changed the name. We wanted something that represented what we wanted to be, and I think Kyle mentioned this, right? Like the trading post is a place of respite, a place where people can go, be with their friends, a safe space to go enjoy and, you know, escape from some of the challenges of the real world, but also hone our skills at games we want to be good at. And so, yeah,
Like you were saying before, it's like Cheers, or it's like the tavern when you're in D&D. It's the place where everyone
Mhm.
meets. Is where the adventure starts. It's a very cool way to kind of look at it.
yeah. Toronto was where we added our newest member at the time. We Mitchell was really good friends with Wub. They had been playtesting, and Wub was awesome. He had been giving advice on our decks that we were brewing and giving us tips and about the meta. And he's always been a pillar of the community. I've been listening to his content with Mitchell for a long time now. Um, he doesn't speak a lot, but when he speaks, it's impactful
You
and very
listen.
insightful. You listen when he speaks, right? Um, so he was open to joining the team, and we met up in Toronto, and we met the rest of the group. Jacob Johnson came out there, and we were able to hang out with him in Toronto. We had, the other Calvin, we had Ryan Levine out there. Getting to meet them, pillars of long-standing in the community, was really cool.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, Wub joined the team, and we finished a tournament as a team for the first time in Toronto.
Yeah.
How did it feel playing Hawks in Toronto and then meeting the world's best Hawks player?
So Toronto was really humbling. I love deck building in card games. That is my favorite part of any card game. So I decided to play Evil Hawks at Toronto because I wanted to play like cooler cards, less impactful like explosiveness. Which was fun. I had a blast. I played way longer games than I wanted to. I think I played almost the full hour round, almost every round. But it was a blast, and it's fun to watch somebody be an expert of something that you're passionate about. Like I've played card games forever. There's been times where I felt like the expert, but it's nice to be in this point in my life where I get to watch like and learn from people who are just like that much better. Um, it's really cool, and to be able to like witness it in person and actually like see it. It's a blast. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite things card games has ever brought me in my life. I think it's part of why I'm, like, still playing now, like, it's unmatched. It's so cool.
I have a theory, because I always have a theory that Hawks was an overreaction to you not getting to play in Louisville. So it's because of, I didn't get to sit down in Louisville, so I paid for my seat in Toronto. I'm going to use my seat in Toronto for the full hour.
Yeah, it's mine. You can't have it. I played, like,
Kyle
an
also
hour-long game one
has
against Ghidorah. It was crazy.
Ooh,
Kyle also has the curse of always somehow pairing up with a team member,
ooh.
Round 2.
or against a team member in round two every tournament. So no, I'll give Tam credit, right? I went my first tournament in Louisville with Jester. I loved the character. I loved the toolbox aspect of snapping spells back to my hand for when I needed a block or an attack. But as a player who started in AOT3 pre-release, it was very daunting to play a defense control deck, not knowing any of the cards in the card pool or the meta. So Tam got me onto Pony for Toronto, and it's this is the first time I've ever played any card game competitively. I've only played Commander and I think Standard and Ixalan a long time ago.
A little bit.
Yeah, so it's like my second competitive tournament ever. I played mostly Warhammer before this, so it was cool to have like all of these really, really talented people coaching and play testing with them. And Tam was awesome, and Sam was really, really good. And taking like all of their collective ideas and then picking the ones that work for me and my play style and what I wanted to do. I'll say this: the largest compliment I could get in that entire tournament. I played Pony, but I did it a little bit different. I knew I couldn't block and I sucked at defense, and I was like, I just want to kill people. And so I just went, you know what? People are going to breaker me, but we're just going to fight through it. I just put three diffs, four diffs. We went really low curve, right? Just draw low curve, just try to play out. And it worked to a certain extent, and I was able to get top 16, which was sweet. And yeah, it was just a really, really positive play experience. And Phil Burt said, like, cool deck, you know? Most of the time he's telling me my cards are garbage and they have no text.
And they have no text, yeah.
But for him to
Flip
to
flop.
say cool deck was probably the highlight of my tournament there. So
Yeah, that'd be something that sticks with you, even like when you build a bad deck. It's like, yeah, but that one time I built a cool deck.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, you've got Wub and you've got other content creators that don't make content often or don't really speak up in the community as often. But when they do, so like when Tim Keith makes a video, people listen. You got people like myself that pump out a video a day, so people know that if they want an opinion, they can go get it. But when they see Kevin Broberg or they see Tim Keith or they see Wub make a video about the meta, about a deck, as well as like, oh, this is something that is important because it's one of these people with this kind of grandiose atmosphere around them from how long they've been playing and like all the community and game respect they've got kind of going around it. So it's great that you've got people like Mitchell and Wub on the team who can almost bring this air of legitimacy to a team that's brand new, kind of
Mhm.
going, yeah, we're not just here for fun. We've got these pillars and these big names. Although we're going to come out in this game having fun, we're going to beat you having fun as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's cool to see the commitment from the old heads as well, right? Like we run playtesting on Wednesday nights. And like we all get together. What we're playtesting, I can't tell you. So last yesterday was Commander.
Yeah.
Last week before that was Star Wars Unlimited. Like it changes, but like we're committed to play, and we all meet up, and like to be honest, like it turns one day a week. Sometimes, honestly, it's going to get me in trouble with my partner. It turns into two, sometimes 3 days a week, and my partner is like, "Wait, I thought this was Wednesday nights all day, right?" So Oh, it just helps that we have fun, right?
Mhm.
That's really what it comes down to. So,
But
but
that's
but
the
it
fun.
all kind of came together, and we met with I met Barrett and I met Tam and Nate out in Omaha, and Jacob and Co. And Nate was phenomenal, and he was looking for a team, and we're from the same local area. And I was like, "Look, we're gonna participate in Atlanta. I love, your attitude about the game and your willingness to like participate and help push what we're trying to do here." And so we had Nate join the team for Atlanta, and Atlanta was awesome. Right, it was the
And
first
it was
time
incredible.
we represented. We had team shirts, we had hats. We were like a unified team. We had a logo. We didn't have that for Toronto, right? Well, we had little poker chips that we had made, but
Oh, nice.
yeah. So we were just kind of winging it, and it all just kind of came together real time in Atlanta, and Atlanta was phenomenal for most of us. So
I mean, yeah, definitely for some of the team, Atlanta was phenomenal.
Yep.
yeah, and
I think
so
watching Phil in the finals is the most nervous I've ever been in a card game tournament, and I wasn't playing it. And I have played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tournaments, and watching that finals was unbelievable.
just watching him hold that Botans for 3 turns, knowing that Besiege was out there, and to have the patience and, like, the foresight. I know Phil, will always be humble. He'll be like he'll admit that it's one of his best performances ever, but, he'll be like, "Look, why wouldn't I? It's the only thing that can kill me." But how many players in the world, have the patience to think that far ahead and, keep that in hand and know that's his only out and play to it. Um, it's something special, right? Like you don't see those types of performances often, and so it was just awesome. Like the excitement, the electricity in the room, the production value that Tam and Co had brought to the table. Everyone was in the finals room watching, except for me. I was on a flight back because I had been vomiting the entire previous day,
It
unfortunately.
was your turn to be ill.
Yeah, exactly. And my only regret wasn't being there with the team, but yeah, it was just great. Right.
I think we celebrated enough for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want somewhere to celebrate, Glasgow is possibly the best place for you guys to reconnect and celebrate Atlanta, because I think the UK players have got something to say about you winning there. So I mean,
Good.
we've covered it previously, but we'll go back over it again. So the Glasgow was announced, and the players kind of like trickling in, and then Tam goes on to his weekly podcast with Barrett and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Glasgow," and people, and then like the UK ears perk up, like, okay. It's like, yeah, and then I do some research and I find out from some people like, oh yeah, he's being sponsored to go off now. I'm not going to push because but I'm like, that's kind of cool, but kind of weird that if it was final round sponsoring, and why would they not come out as like a team? And then we see Phil Birch and Mitchell Semino and all the trading post names start popping up with trading posts on there. It's like, oh, this is a coordinated effort. I'm like, oh, and then response and play going, okay, now I've really got to do some research because response and play are absolutely lovely and it's great to see them, but it's very strange to see them go traveling all over the pond to do it. So I messaged Mitchell being like, can you put me in touch with Trading Post? And then lo and behold, I find out it's like one of my channel's biggest supporters. I'm like, oh, cool.
Call was coming from inside the house.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. So like, well, seeing as they already like me, I'll just see if I can get into it.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, it's I think Kyle said it, right? It's something we wanted to do that was special, that was unique. Um, Scotland's phenomenal. Kyle and I have both been there, so we're excited to go. We're staying a couple days after, right, to explore and enjoy what the country has to offer. I think we joked about this, right, Brett? Is
Yeah.
I only wish they did it in August instead of November, because rain and cold doesn't really show off the beauty of the country.
I mean, rain and
But
cold is
it'll be
pretty much
great.
Scotland's default.
Well, that's true. That is true. That is fair. So, but yeah, the idea here wasn't necessarily to go avenge Justin Birch's, previous comments, or go try to, get a bunch of points for Worlds. Um, you know, our entire team is already qualified for Worlds. We have 3 people in the top 8. I think we're going to have 5 or 6 people who have qualified for day 2. Not We don't need the points, right? Like, I don't think that's the case. Really, what we wanted to do was have a special experience and fly out and take content creators and have a variety of perspectives, have the best players going against the best players in the UK, because the talent out here is phenomenal, right? We've seen how concentrated it is, but 0 to 40, everyone is phenomenal player, top to bottom, when you get to these types of regionals. And the meta and the cool ideas that are incubating, that have their own perspectives, to see and learn from that is awesome. And really excited about that. And I think for us, bringing the content creators, we want to expose the personalities and the players that we see constantly in North America but don't get as much exposure to on the other side of the pond. And we want to take the opportunity to highlight y'all's meta, highlight the best players in your region, highlight the stories and narratives there, because our fundamental philosophy here is, when the community gets together and we put our collective efforts and ideas behind something, we can move the needle, we can make the experience better for all of us. And we can show the company and incubate ideas that get adopted by the company if we're able to amplify together, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason Commander exists, right? And so that's kind of the philosophy. But I'll give it to the one person who's not coming to Scotland to respond.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the background, so we both can't go. But when we first talked about it, like, just the experiences and the learning, and just like there's so much value to seeing other parts of the world, seeing other communities, interacting with people that, like, because Worlds is in Texas, but that doesn't mean everybody across the pond is going to be able to make it, whether you queue or not, kind of thing. It just allows a lot of this cross pollination that just like grows something better in the future. And if we can't like practice what we preach on that kind of stuff, like, what are we doing? So when we had a Discord call with response on play, we've just been like interacting with the people that want to interact with the communities and see what we can do to broaden their horizons, or just like going to Scotland is just a really great opportunity and it happens to be that there's a really fun event going on. Like, I think that's how a lot of us are seeing it.
That
And a
makes a lot of
Guilty Gear
sense.
release, which is sweet too, right? To do that
Mm.
all at once. It's gonna be amazing.
I mean, Scotland is going to be an amazing event. It's the Guilty Gear pre-release weekend, which means it's probably is going to be technically the biggest pre-release going on as well. It's going to be a great place, like you're saying. There's a lot of EU and UK players that haven't really been highlighted. I've highlighted a few throughout my content, but I know even some of the Spanish players that are from Spain are now coming over to Glasgow as well. And it's kind of what this point system, this organized play year we've had from UVS was designed to do. It was designed to encourage travel. It was designed to get people to move around and go to more local game stores, go to more regions. And this is, like you're saying, a great example of it is possible. And the team mentality can kind of help with that because one person going over can be quite daunting. But if you're going over with a group of friends, you're immediately going to know people there. You're immediately going to be able to have a social experience. And for me, that's what regionals have always been. It's been more a social experience where I get to play cards with friends rather than I need to go out there and win because if I don't, it's been a wasted weekend.
100%.
Absolutely, and that's why, like I said, the cards is the fun part. We're there to make content, meet the community, and more importantly, just go enjoy the spectacular countryside as a team, and drink a lot of scotch and and enjoy that as well.
Well, I'm sure that the Dobbers can hook you up with a great whiskey joint, but we do have a strict rule of no drinking during events, which really did
Oh,
annoy the Dobbers because last year in Nottingham there was a bar in the regionals and they were specifically told not to serve us alcohol.
that's
Wow.
messed up.
Yeah.
I think that would disqualify half our team. So,
Well,
uh,
as long as you don't show people what's in your cup, no one's gonna ask.
there you go. So, no, but we're really looking forward to it. We've been hyperactive, and um, like I said, Stark Dark in 2 weeks. We're doing a ton of Riftbound stuff down there. We're meeting up with the Response on Play folks, and hopefully a few more content creators. And we're excited for Scotland, but we're also really excited for 2026. We have a lot of big plans that we've
Ooh.
been formulating and working and planting the seeds for. We want to do something big for the community in 2026, and a lot of this is starting to come together. And it takes a lot of planning and a lot of effort, but we're excited and here for it, and we're excited to share the details um, as we're able to in coming months.
I have to keep it up. Yeah, more community events is something that the Stark Darks are great ones. It'd be great to see more like community plans, community events, community celebrations going on. It is something we don't really have in despite being much smaller than the US. It's something we don't really do over here. Uh, I know Sean from Patriot Games was trying to plan something like between regionals, but with all the other card games, all the other stuff going on, can be quite hard to organize universes when you've got Magic dropping a set every 2 months, you've got Pokemon dropping multiple boxes, you've got Yu-Gi-Oh, and now Gundam, Godzilla, Riftbound, One Piece. We're in like the second great age of card games, but now companies
Oh
know
yeah.
what they're doing with them.
I think that's exactly the point. Is that you have more competition than ever before, but I also think there's a lot to be learned. This is something that's happened in almost every industry, right? You have a new industry, nascent industry. You tend to see a lot of stratification and then consolidation. So you look at card games. Two card games make up 70% of the revenue, right? It's Magic and Pokemon. You look at technology, right? It's Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, right? That own a majority of the market share. And this happens across the board as many industries mature. The biggest thing we think that's underserved is that 30% of the market, those smaller card games. You can take communities, and we've seen this in niche industries, whether it be high end audio, like even going back to the gaming space, I always harken on Eve Online. It's like 30,000 people play that game, but it's a game that creates substantial amounts of revenue, is self-sustaining, and the community has, invested in it for 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
So I think there is power in the community, and it's how do we bring the community together, especially when it's so geographically dispersed. People don't have local play stores. People don't have, you know, the same opportunities that we do in Michigan or other places. How do we create engagement there as a community? And we're looking to help solve that.
And just like Universes, when you've got that small margin of people, they become passionate and protective over it. Like, go back to your technology example, people will go to Apple, people will go to Windows because they're there. But if you ever meet someone who's used a Linux, they just like they'll swear off, but no, you shouldn't be using anything other than this. It's same with the card games. Like, oh, you play Magic U? It's like, yeah, but you should try Universes. You'll have such a good time with
Yep.
it. And that's my limit of technological knowledge.
Oh, it's mine as well. Don't worry.
So the
So
TLDR is you're not coming to get points. You don't need them. Your team have already all qualified for day two. You're not coming over to avenge Justin, but you're not all going to show up in the American suits and hat like he did last year. You're coming over to
we want to be allowed in the country.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it PC.
So
So,
you're coming over to have fun. You're coming over to meet the community, expand like your knowledge of the game with a different region that plays the game differently because every region does have their own kind of established way of playing, and just to have fun with friends and highlight the community. It seems like a really good way to do it. And like you said, Response on Play and Tam are not team members, but you're bringing them over as well as kind of like the trading post cameraman.
yeah, and to be frank, like we're working and collaborating on content, but they're doing their own thing as well. Like our we genuinely brought them because we want to highlight the community, right? You know, we're a local group. I don't know how much advertising or things you get for your local store off of this kind of stuff. It's not about that, right? It is really about community engagement. It's building connections, and showing the community that you can be active in it and be supported and play the game that you love. That's what we're here for.
I mean, it does have reach because I found out you guys were in Michigan. I was talking to someone from the Critical Role community, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I live in Michigan." I was in Michigan. Just messaged yourself and Mitchell like, "Whereabouts are you guys based?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm like an hour from there." I was like, "Cool, yeah, go head out there. They'll take care of you, and they're looking forward to doing the Jester and Ford wedding events in Novi." And it's like
Yeah.
it's really cool just to like you say, although it might not be an advertising opportunity, you don't know who's connected to who where because the
Yeah.
world's a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hoping to prove that by bringing an invasion of Americans into Scotland.
Well, Tam has put a public list up saying that he's playing Mikasa in Glasgow, which is a really interesting one.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Mm.
that might have changed, but it was on the UVS Ultra like Glasgow Mikasa Tam Card. I'm like, okay, that might be a mistake.
Mikasa's a
We
lot
see
of
the
fun.
list. We'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Any insight into what you guys are thinking of playing?
It depends on what gets touched and what doesn't. I played Devil Jin during Atlanta, and it went really well until round six. I was like 4-1, and then I started vomiting and running out between every round,
Yeah.
and crashed out 4-4. So I want to give it a fair try, and see if it performs at the rate that I think it does. Um, but I don't know. Fern seems like a lot of fun.
Third
I've been
yeah.
having so much fun. I've been loving Splinter. We talked earlier. I took your Splinter deck that you had previewed or deck tagged, and we've been cooking right before this call. We were just cooking on Splinter and trying to figure it out. And I told Phil Birch that before the year is out, I will learn how to play defense in Universus.
Controlling this game is so hard to learn because you have to do everything perfectly.
Mhm.
And now that you've got a little bit more games under your belt, it might be a good way to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna still do 15-15 Devil Gin, cheat on your checks until they tell me I can't do that. But
Yeah.
we're gonna learn that when they start banning
We know
it.
nothing's going to get touched until after Guilty Gear because there's no new data.
Yeah, there is new
If
complaining.
Phil
So
didn't
we'll
have
see
the
if that
dream
goes.
run, top 4 would have probably been 16 copies of Teaming with the Attack Titan. Like
Uh,
in most universes, the 16 doesn't do what he did.
I don't think there's anything
And
in
it's
the in the play experience bundle that makes Shadow Jin even more broken. So he's not going to get touched.
Yeah,
uh,
that's unfortunate, but
maybe see a lot of him at in
Oh,
Scotland.
going to probably see a lot of Devil Jins. Going to see a plethora of Godzillas because Scotland is known for its Godzilla players. I know at least there's going to be a couple of the new Sun Jin Woos there because people just are really hyped on him.
So
So
cool.
he is so cool. I'm one of the people that's like, I really want to play him.
see, Phil keeps telling me Godzilla is bad.
Just block.
So yeah, all you have to do is block. And so yeah, like I guess we'll be excited to go
that
see all
is
those
the
Godzillas.
that is the control meta. That is the control play mentality of all I need to do is block.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So easy.
I won't keep you guys much longer because we've gone way over what we're supposed to. One of the things that we'll ask you then is you guys mentioned that you play over card games and you mentioned you play Commander. Who's your commanders?
I was playing Mog yesterday. I love him. He's so funny. And then I was playing why am I blanking on names right now?
You played from Final Fantasy.
Oh, I played Terra. Yeah. I was playing
Terra.
Terra and Mog yesterday.
Yeah.
I used to play Everything Was Blue, and then I've just been building like Mardu-esque decks to like steer away from that. It's just been fun. I just like putting creatures into play now. So
My favorite and evergreen commander deck is Animar. I love those colors. It's just like my favorite. I think the deck I've built, ironically, 3 of us independently thought we were clever and all built commander decks in our team. And then we all came to the table, and it turned out that we all built Teyval decks. And none of us were unique. So I have a Teyval deck that I've never played because I thought I brought something clever, and everyone else has played it. I'm gonna work on a Gisa deck. I
Ooh.
like crimes. I think targeting things is fun. Again, just tchotchke game actions, doing stuff like that
Mhm.
is just fun.
I've
So
not played in about 10 years now, like from the original Khans and Takias sort of era. But in like at the time, I played Scion the Ur Dragon because
oh,
it's really good
that's a good
still.
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just like
He's got a
dragons.
big brother now, though.
Oh, we got me bro now. Ooh,
He's got
Here's
the
the
Ur
beauty.
Dragon.
I like
Yeah,
I like my dragons.
Oh,
there
nice.
we go.
Nice.
The
But
beauty of Commander is that you don't have to know any cards and what they do. I
yeah,
still to this date, I'm like, what does your Soul Ring do? I don't know. Does it still tap for 2?
That's
You know.
what I got.
it's the kind of format that Universus is missing. This fun, casual kind of way to play in a group of other people that PVE kind of filled for a little bit, but it's one of those things that whenever you play locally, a lot of people can feel it's competitive because it's like you're 1 a week or something like that. I really do hope we get some kind of casual way to play this game
Mhm.
that feels commander esque, where you can go and just get a pickup game of the very fun format that can, like you said, you don't have to worry about what your opponents are doing. You can just focus on building a deck that's designed to do what it wants to do, and you can play your own way whilst experiencing new cards around you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something we're trying to solve, Brett. Like we want to crowdsource that with the community and figure out how can we pick something that makes it viable, and then put a bunch of eyeballs and content around it to make it work. Because it's the ideas from the community that are going to foster and then get adopted, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know what that answer is. I don't think any of us have figured it out, but there has to be something better than getting your face stomped in by Devil Jin, on a local, Friday night play night or something like that, right? There's got to be something in between that.
There-
So
Cameron and I are going to test a new format that I've come up with, and that is just it's just Spotlight, not any IP Spotlight, and we're going to build 5 decks from different IPs, and we're going to have them face off against each other, and the first person to get 5 wins comes in.
So Union
Because
Arena, basically.
yeah, the Union Arena like play model, because to me, a person that comes in because they love Guilty Gear doesn't want to have to invest in Tekken or Attack on Titan or My Hero. So if they can go to on a Friday to the local game store with their Guilty Gear deck, their TMNT deck, and they can play against an AOT deck, and they can like, oh cool, this has actually got some really cool abilities that my deck can use. Like, well, you're looking at constructed for that, and yeah, the store can help you. The players can help you learn how to do that. And rather than chucking them in the deep end, going, you now need to learn constructed, you go, yeah, you've done your demo, you've done your starter deck, you've done your spotlight, and then that's where now you can go into constructed. Now you've invested in the game already, rather than going demanding this investment before they even know if they like the game.
Yeah.
I think there are two challenges that have to get addressed, and I'm curious on your perspective there. But one challenge I see with the spotlight thing, right, is you're probably not pulling in new players who've never played card games before, right? It's usually players, who've played other card games adjacent that are going to try this game. Anyone who's like, I'm just playing Turtles because I like Turtles, most of those players end up as table players that are just going to pull out their Turtles deck and play Turtles once in a blue moon with their friends and be done with it, right? And then when you say Spotlight, my Godzilla Challenger deck is a little bit different than like any other deck
Some
that
lights
you make
shine
up.
brighter.
Yeah, and so it becomes a little bit difficult to balance. But I like where that's going. I think there is like maybe like Pokemon or something like a character tiering system, and people can play whatever they want. But hey, there are certain characters that only exist in this S tier format. They're all the staples that we know and see in every top cut. There's a tier below it, and then there's a tier below that's like the jank tier or something like that.
Like
And
the Commander
I,
Band.
exactly,
Kind of, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's because it's all comes down to a social contract, right? At the end of the day, like Phil Birch can take any one of these like so-called garbage decks and turn my life miserable, and put me in jail, right? Like he can do that regardless of the power level. So there is a social contract somewhere in there, and so that's my worry about the challenger, like the
Yeah.
progression. I think where the game needs to go is less about the new player, as in like I'm new to card games and these mechanics, and it's more the new player. I played Magic, or I played Yu-Gi-Oh, or I played Star Wars. How do I translate what I know as the core game mechanics to help me quickly onboard into this game? Because if you look at our team, 50% of our team never played Universes before. Like, I would say, like a third of our team didn't even play before TMNT,
Ooh.
right? But they all played other card games, and they've been playing card games all their lives,
Yeah.
right? So the onboarding was actually pretty quick, right? For them to get going, you just had to translate it in Magic, in Yu-Gi-Oh, in whatever format they played. Like that's what Kyle's really good at. That's why it was easy for us to onboard new people. So I kind of think like the new player content needs to recognize that of the players who are coming, and maybe start at a level that's a little bit higher. So that's still useful, and also includes like the strategies and other components that are tied to the rule, to make it useful for players who already know the game or need to understand like how is this rule applied strategically or in a manner that I'm unaware of, or how the best players are utilizing it,
Yeah.
right? Like adding that additional context, because like this player base is never going to be a bunch of new card players, right? It is there's going to be other people who are like, this sounds cool. Let me, even what Wub was a Yu-Gi-Oh player, right? Or Calvin was a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Like all of these players came from other card games, right?
Yeah. So there's always going to be new players, but we've got the starter decks for that. We've got the demo days for that. But yeah, it's a very good point that there are transferable skills between card games. The exhausting of resources is very Magic-esque. Is very even Lorcana has an aspect of it. It's one of the things that there are aspects of the card games that have this transferable skills, and actually having ways to show Magic players and Yu-Gi-Oh players and go like, yes, this is how things go, this is how our game plays, but at the same time, this is what's different. This is how different things go down. Uh, is a very interesting way. Like, I do know that there are a lot of card game players out there that go, rather than just having to commit foundations to pay for cards, the fact that you supplement it with the top card of your deck to like to as the check value is a very unique thing, and some people really enjoy that resource management kind of aspect of it. So that's a really good point, and it's one of the things that when you talk about new players, everyone thinks new players. Nobody really thinks of the transferring player, the player that is picking up as a secondary or just fun game that we can try and get to invest more time and more uh, money and like play experience into the game and become a more established member of the community. So that's an actual really good way to think about it.
That's what I want us to go after, right? Like my partner does not want to play card games,
Yeah.
right? They're not into it. They will never be into it for the life of me. For me to go and say, let's start with Universus as the first card game for you, that's crazy, right? Like that would be such a poor experience from a person who plays Uno as their only card game to now jump into that. And so, that's why like we play a bunch of Cookie Run. Like we love that game locally, and we play it. It's easy to pick up. It's fun. It's good for kids, right? Like, and you can start to transition and tell people how this operates. I remember when someone was trying to explain Blitz to me, they were like, "Oh, it's basically optional ETBs where you can choose to have that effect or not."
Mm.
Right? And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense, right? It just
Mhm.
happens when you hit the board, right?" I know people are like, it's a controversy and stuff like that. I won't get into that, but like, I will say it was as soon as someone said that to me, I was like, I understand this concept immediately. Like, I know what this is about, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's I'm the type of player that's going to come play Universes, like someone who played another card game. And I feel like the content and the people and we should also respect the intelligence of the players that are going to come and realize they can probably handle more than we're throwing at them and be okay with that, right? Like it's
Yeah.
a hard game. We're going to respect that you're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations, but we're not going to baby the entire process for you, right?
The game might be 14 plus, but the majority of people playing are middle aged.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to shoot off because I need to make my little boy his evening meal.
Yeah.
But thanks for this. I look forward to meeting you guys in Scotland. I've got the Sun Jinwoo ready to hand over because I've got a fair amount. It's been great chatting with you. I'll have to
Yeah.
do it in person next time. It's getting very dark here, it seems. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to put? Any kind of vibes you want to put out into the community as we wrap up?
If you're a listener and you see anybody in the trading post hats or your response on play, go interact with them. Go say hi. They're all friendly. Phil looks scary. He's super nice. Just like we are here to have fun and enjoy it. Like, just come say hi or shout us out or something like that.
I know we talk about a lot of the great players on our team, but I wanted to give a shout out and flowers to, Eli, Alex, Josh. They're new joiners who knew nothing about this game and jumped in head first and are phenomenal players in their own right and have been the fuel for our team and have been just as an important part of this journey as, the other folks are. And so, just a shout out to them and then echoing what Kyle said, like don't be strangers. Come up, bring ideas. We love it. We want to, foster the community and pour gas to accelerate, building things together. And we're excited for 2026 and the
Very
close of this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you've got planned and what this like collaboration with content creators that you already got planned going in. I'm really excited to see where this is going. It seems like you guys are kind of coming over to the UK for the right reasons. You're playing the game for the right reason. You're building a team for the right reasons. It's really cool to see. But I need to head on now because my lighting is absolutely terrible. So
Well,
thanks for
thanks
being
for having
here.
us.
I'll see you in a month, and hopefully we don't get paired into each other. It's been absolutely great to see you here. Have a great day.
You as well.
Likewise. Take care.
Bye.